Welcome back to Math Concepts. We are continuing our work on logic. Now remember, in this mathematical structure, our objects are statements, and we have these logical operators of not, negation, we have and, we have or, we have a conditional, and we have a biconditional. And those are the ways we can take statements and make new ones. Now, the truth value of those new statements is going to be dependent on the truth value of the various parts. And to analyze this, sometimes it's helpful to write statements using symbols. It's a convenient shorthand for our statements. We could always write them out in English, but sometimes it can get a little complicated to see exactly what is being said in that case. So let's look at a couple of examples where we take some statements that are written out and we convert them to symbols. Okay, so in this video we're talking about translating symbolic statements. The key idea is, if I give you a statement, can you express it using symbols? And also, you need to be able to do the reverse. If I give you something represented in symbols, I need to be able to write that out in words. So when this video is done, you should be able to do both of those two things. So let's get right to some examples here. So let's consider the following statements. P is going to stand for the statement, today is Friday. Q is going to stand for the statement, it is raining. R, I am going to a movie, and S, I am not going to a basketball game. Okay, so those are my four statements. So in these examples, we're going to take a sentence written out in words, and we're going to rewrite it using symbols. Okay, so today is Friday, and it is raining. Okay, so remember, P is today is Friday, Q was it is raining, and the symbolic version is this, P and Q. If you remember our last video, that was the symbol for and. You remember it's easy to remember because it looks like a capital A. Okay, let's go up here. Not raining, and I am going to a movie. Okay, now if you look back, you'll see the statement Q, it is raining. I want not raining, so I would need the negation, so I need not Q. And, oops, almost wrote out the letter A there. Not Q and going to a movie. Up here we can see that statement is the symbol R. Not Q and R. Not raining and going to a movie. If it is raining, then I am going to a basketball game. Okay, let's go and review our statements up here. Q is, it is raining. S, not going to a basketball game. Now we got to be very careful with these statements. We got to be very precise when we're dealing with logic. Okay, notice this already has a not in it. And notice this here. It says I am going to a basketball game. So this would be Q and then the arrow. Okay, so you remember this is the symbol for and. That arrow that we talked about in the last video, that's if then for an implication. So Q implies not S. Okay, remember S was I am not going to a basketball game. This says I am going to a basketball game. So that's the negation of the statement S. So if it is raining, then I am going to a basketball game. Okay, so those are the three statements that we had there written out in symbols. Now you also need to be able to go the other way. So let's use these same set of statements, and in the next set of exercises, we're going to take something that is written in symbols, and then we're going to write it out in words. We're going to go from symbols to words. So let's go over to that. Okay. So we want to write each statement in words. It's a little better there. Okay. So P and not Q. All right, now you might need to go back a little bit when we introduce the statements. Okay, P is, it is Friday. Q, it is raining. In fact, I'll just go back and check, right? P, today is Friday. Q, it is raining. So this is P and not Q. Today is Friday. And it is not raining. Okay, easy. Okay, if S, then R. Now let's look back. S, I am not going to a basketball game. R, I am going to a movie. If I am not going to a basketball game, then I am going to a movie. Okay, here. Not Q implies R or not S. Okay, now we've already flipped back to the statements a couple times, so I'm not going to do that again. You probably just remember that Q is, it is raining, but this is not Q. So if it is not raining, then, now R, you remembered that was movies. I am going to the movies. Or, now you remember S was, I am not going to a basketball game. This is not S. So that means I am going to a basketball game. Okay, so you can see here, when we get to a statement like this, the writing gets to be quite a lot. So the symbols actually save us a lot of time. So if it's not raining, then movies or basketball. Okay? So a very compact notation for helping us analyze statements, which is what we're going to start doing in the next couple videos. We're going to analyze the truth value of these compound statements based on the truth value of the individual component statements. Okay, but for this video, the key ideas were taking a sentence or a statement that's written out in words and going to symbols, and then vice versa. Taking something that's written in symbols and being able to put it into words. Okay, so you just need to remember your operations. That's and. That's not. If then. That's or. Okay, so we had examples that used all of them.